Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire. What up? Welcome back to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends.
What's up,
We are back, baby. For week 1 of football was sick. It was good to have back, man. I feel like COVID kind of changed our opinions about sports. It made some people kind of be like, I'm not going to pay as much. I was like that. I was like, I'm not going to pay as much attention. I'm going to do other things.
Was it last year when it started that they still weren't full stadiums, or was it full?
No, last year there were teams that had full stadiums. Last year they brought some of that back. Right. There were some teams that didn't. That
there were, but in the beginning, I don't think they were allowing full capacity. Wasn't that last year? I can't remember.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I can't remember. Yeah, but it was great to have football back. I spent the whole day watching football, and then at night I wasted my time with the soap opera that is known House of Dragons. Fuck that show real hard.
Yeah, man, we tried to watch it. I was watching it last night, and I stopped. I was like, man, I got better shit to do.
Get the fuck out of here with all this shit. Listen.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm misremembering because it's been so long since I watched Game of Thrones, but like Game of Thrones had the Starks, it had the Wall, it had the Lannisters. You had all these different places that you were kind of checking in on, and you had all these characters. There was funny characters. There was good writing. In this one, I mean,
people died.
Listen, there's been 3 hours of this House of Dragons. I challenge you to tell me what's happened. If you're like a fan of it, tell me what's actually happened in the plot. Like what has actually happened. It'll take you about 10 seconds to say because nothing has happened. Nothing's happened. Nobody's dying. The excitement that we got, shut your fucking holes. The excitement we got was that there's this guy feeding the enemies to the crabs, right? Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I just still don't understand that.
Who the fuck is this guy? Because it doesn't matter. Because then they wiped him off the face of the fucking earth.
He's the one that died.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a fuck about him.
Nobody fucking knew who he was.
He wasn't.
You killed the bad guy. You killed the one person I thought we were hyping ourselves up to. Like
the king didn't want to go to war. I don't know.
So he just did it by himself with the worst archers of all time. So these are the worst archers of all time. They're all shooting at him.
They're like stormtroopers.
Nobody fucking hit him. They're all just shooting behind him. I mean, I've never shot a bow and arrow, but good lord. But yeah, House of Dragons can suck it real hard.
I think I'm done. Like I wanted to watch. I wanted to like it because I liked Game of Thrones, but
yeah.
But you lost me.
You know, the Lord of the Rings show on Amazon Prime, it's not getting good ratings. I guess out there the critics are not too fond of it, but I fucking dig it. I like Lord of the Rings, and I think the show's good. And
I keep falling asleep.
Well, it is very Lord of the Rings, though. It's long, and you can tell they're gonna drag this out, and they're gonna get as much as they can out of it. But it looks fucking awesome. The CGI and everything in it is,
they have a great budget.
Great budget. Yeah. Love that budget. Big ass budget, baby. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit of football now. Fuck you, House of Dragons. First down. Week 1. Week 1 in the books. It was a weird week 1. There's definitely some jitters. I think some teams that played like the best of their abilities. Like I think there's some outliers in this week. The Giants, the Steelers. I think there were the Bears. I think there were teams that played really, really well. I don't know if it continues. Maybe I'm off. Maybe, I started off this whole preseason talking about how the Bears, the Giants, the Falcons, all these teams were going to be really, really bad. And they all played pretty well. Even the Texans played pretty well. So I think I was maybe a little bit off on that. But I wanted to highlight a couple of games. And so I started writing like my biggest games of the week. And I was like, all right, I'm going to limit myself to like 3 or 4 games. And how many I write down? 8? 9. So yeah, it's crazy. It was a weird week, but there was a lot of good games. And I didn't want to miss some of them. So we'll start it off It started off with that Thursday night with Buffalo at the Rams.
Like normally offenses struggle for the first few weeks while they gel and get into sync because they don't have a lot of preseason work with each other. The starters aren't usually playing. Yeah. They don't practice as much as they used to. I don't think they're doing fucking 2 days and shit anymore, are they?
Their adrenaline's going. No, they're not doing that anymore. And their adrenaline gets going, and some of them kind of just are going so fast that they don't really accomplish anything.
These first 2 weeks, you gotta pay attention.
Yeah.
But like we will probably we like to overreact.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I like to overreact. And I fucking
Yeah.
what was that? Was it last year that you dropped James Conner after the week 1?
James Conner and Mike Gesicki. I dropped them both week 1, and they both ended up being very good players. If I had kept them, I would have had a much better year. So
especially Connors, he was like.
But I am in a situation because of we'll get to it. We'll get to it. So Buffalo at the Rams.
An offense that did not struggle and does look very well in sync is the
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Wow. Man, the Buffalo Bills are for real. They are for real.
They look great.
They're a good team that is kind of more balanced this year. I think their defense is going to be just as good as their offense.
I'm okay. I'm okay with my first round Josh Allen.
Yeah,
pick.
bro. Yeah, he as of right now. I mean, I know there were some other good players.
Mahomes, I think, outscored him.
Yeah,
in the
and
first
Mahomes,
week.
Well, we'll get to that too because it's on this list. But the Kansas City, holy shit! But I mean, those two are definitely the top quarterbacks in the league. But I think Josh Allen might win MVP this year if he behaves like that, especially if he behaves like that. So yeah, that was a great game. I will say this about the Rams: 9 loves 10.
Yeah,
13 fucking catches.
And you know what? I'm done with it. I mean, I don't know if Allen Robinson is what he is.
I mean,
we always blame he has shitty quarterbacks.
I got Robert Woods flashbacks in last year.
That's what I was like, man, I don't need to deal with this shit because 9 loves 10 and he's gonna
9 loves 10. It ain't gonna stop. Is that what you think? So what you think that throughout this year that Stafford's going to be like, I'm not going to go to him as much. All I saw,
he doesn't even look at anybody else.
All I saw from that, and it's crazy too, because like he's open.
Yeah.
How the fuck is this? If you're a defensive coordinator, I don't know how you're not going to a cornerback and saying, listen, you have one job today. One job. You're not covering a zone. You're not watching to see if the tight end slides over. You're not, a running back came out the back. I need to go make that tackle. I want you to take one hand and you hold Cooper Kupp's elbow and you don't let it go. I don't care if you get holding calls the entire fucking game. Just don't let him out of your sight.
All right.
And for whatever reason, this fucking white guy is always just by himself, just standing by himself. Like, yeah, I was open. Yeah, thank you. I'll take another one. But yeah, I definitely feel good about my Cooper Kupp pick.
I was gonna say Jamar Chase. Honestly, though, I was like, shit.
Jamar Chase balled out, I think the one that we really all missed,
Justin Jefferson,
is Justin Jefferson.
Well,
That's the guy, bro.
Goddamn,
holy shit,
he's good.
Justin Jefferson did in one half what all our other guys did.
Yeah.
He did in one hand. He did 164 fucking yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a fucking monster first. He only racked up like 20 or 30 more yards in the second half.
Against a really good fucking Green Bay, or arguably a good Green Bay.
I don't know about really good, but yeah. So
they're supposed to be the better side
wrapping up
of the ball.
Buffalo at Rams. Buffalo came out and kind of smacked them in the mouth right away. The Rams never really seemed to bounce back. It is one of those
Rams
things.
Seem to struggle.
I don't think Stafford has probably got a full preseason in or practices in.
He didn't play much at all. His elbow was all fucked up.
Like you said, I mean, they're going to work their. I'm not worried about the Rams. The Rams are still going to win lots of games.
Buffalo does have a pretty good defensive line apparently, and I think that the Rams need. Obviously, their offensive line needs a little work, but they'll figure it out.
They'll be fine. I think that.
A little worried about Cam Akers.
Well, that was weird. However, Darrell Henderson put up actually good numbers, and so maybe it's like. They're gonna run that tandem. It's clear
almost every team has a tandem now. That's why it's
there's not many Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor.
It shocked me how much Henderson was on the field though, and I think Cam Akers will get more work as the season goes along. But Henderson's clearly the number one right now, and at least in our league, there's no reason for me to hang on.
Yeah, and that's right. They're at home against the Atlanta Falcons this week, so I got good feelings about the Rams. And Buffalo is probably number 1 or 2 in the league.
Well, they're the favorite to win the Super Bowl.
And that's what I'm saying. Like by the end of the year, that's not going to change. They're not. Yeah, they're not going to get
trash the Rams too
much.
No.
But it was a great first game, even though the score was 31-10. It was very fun to watch.
Yeah.
I found myself at work not working, just kind of watching the TV. But yeah, Buffalo and Rams was a great start. Yesterday, I mean, there were so many good games on Sunday. But I want to talk about Pittsburgh at Cincinnati first. What a crazy game. First of all, speaking of no
defense.
practice, no preseason, Joe Burrow has not played at all because of his appendectomy, and
he didn't play very well.
Definitely had some jitters.
He had 5 turnovers.
Yeah, he had 4 interceptions and a fumble loss. I was sitting there with my head in my hands, going, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
Don't you have him in every league?
But in every league, all 4, or 3. But then Joe Burrow turned it around. Started playing much better football in the second half. All those interceptions were early. I think all but
one was his first pass.
Yeah, and Jamar Chase, man, holy shit!
Yeah, he's
Jamar
really
Chase
good.
came alive.
And T. Higgins got hurt, so he's only gonna get fucking
Right.
more.
Also, Tyler Boyd stepped up pretty good with T. Higgins out. So if Tyler Boyd is randomly out there, I don't know why he would be, but I definitely
isn't. But he might be in our league. I don't
maybe.
think he's
No, I don't think so.
Even in the 8-team league,
Yeah,
he's not available.
Yeah, you should have Tyler Boyd.
But Pittsburgh's got a really good defense, at least as long as T.J. Watt stays healthy.
Yeah, but he's out.
Is he out already?
Possibly for the year.
Oh, okay.
Tore his pec.
See that.
Damn,
what's up with
the Watt
guys?
Like, amazing.
They're fucking huge and
They look
athletic,
great,
but goddamn,
but
they're just a little bit too much. It was like they're ripping the fucking ripping that shit off the bones.
It's a torn pec too. So like he's right done. Now it's like he's having a different opinion, but it's like he's done.
He's done.
So
and JJ didn't even play.
Pittsburgh is one of those teams where I feel like this is the best game they have. This was Super Bowl
here's the
game.
thing,
I just don't see it getting better.
Tomlin's just a good fucking coach, and he's been doing it for so long that they're gonna be competitive. They'll probably be 7-10, or even with Mitch Trubisky.
Wild. I didn't see it coming.
Although their offense is gonna be because of defense.
Well. And you're right on all the things you're saying. You're right, but I thought that the Mitchell Trubisky and the fact that I wasn't blown away by Claypool, and yes, Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris are good. I just didn't think
Najee's hurt too, isn't he?
Yeah, but they said that he's probably going to be all right.
Okay.
Tomlin said that he's probably good to go for week 2.
So they'll be in games. They got a good defense.
Yeah.
They have a good coach. They have good schemes, but I think that their offense's struggles is going to get them in trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I don't have any of them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad I didn't draft a Pittsburgh Steeler. It does make me question where I had their win-losses, because I had them winning like 3 games. Like, I had them being a really bad team, and I don't think that's the case.
And I think that you could probably play their defense against some of the other weaker teams if you're streaming.
God damn, Cincinnati should have won that game. I mean, they missed the extra point got blocked.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that was.
I went through and I tried to watch the highlights of everything, but I was doing other shit.
No time left. Jamar Chase scores touchdown. All they have to do is kick the extra point. They win the game. Minka Fitzpatrick blew through the line and blocked the extra point, so they went to overtime.
Fucking good.
Yeah, he's the one that got the pick 6 right at the beginning. And then after that, they go back and forth in overtime of both kickers missing a kick to win the game. And then we get to the Rams, or the Pittsburgh Steelers ended up kicking a last-second field goal. It was a crazy game. It was a wild week 1 game. I know Joe Burrow was having some, he was shaking some rust off. But I still saw the connection of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Yeah, and their offensive line looked like shit. And they should get better.
They got 4 new starters. Yeah. They're going to get better together.
They got gel.
Their defense came alive in the second half. They kind of let Mitchell Trubisky and them kind of do. They let Najee Harris go and score right away. That was like they walked down the field and Najee Harris scored. So, yeah, I think Cincinnati's okay. I think they're in a good spot. They're going to play Dallas and Cooper Rush this week, so I think they bounce back really big this week. And I feel good about Cincinnati still. I'm still okay with Joe Burrow. I'm not panicking. It was just week 1, weird week 1, shaking off the rust, but that was a really good game. Tampa Bay at Dallas. This was not a good game in the sense of how
fun to watch. Was it fun to watch? I didn't watch it.
It was fun for me.
Oh, wow.
It was fun for a Tom Brady fan because they absolutely kicked their
Wasn't
dick.
it like 19-3?
19-3. Probably should have been more than that. Honestly, Tampa Bay kind of struggled in the red zone. They had to settle for a lot of field goals. Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady, 45 years old. He's got these new starters in the interior of his offensive line, right? And so there were a couple times on 3rd down in the red zone that he got sacked.
Yeah.
And this guy, No chill, just in the face of this offensive lineman going, this is your fucking job, and this is what you gotta fucking do. And I was just like, man, like, they're up. It's fucking 19-3, and he is in the face of this offensive lineman.
Because he don't want to get fucking hit.
And he wants more. It's never enough. It is never enough to Tom Brady. It's why he's so good. It's why the guy is who he is. I kind of see a little bit of that in Patrick Mahomes, too, because Patrick Mahomes is the same way. They keep their foot on the throttle. And they didn't let up. Even in the fourth quarter, they scored a touchdown. I was like, God damn, like, this game is over. That's how you got to play.
It's a mentality thing.
And maybe that was Belichick. I feel like Belichick has that same mentality. Or at least, he did with Tom Brady.
Keep playing. It's kind of like you don't rest your starters week 17 when you've already made the playoffs and you can't, you want to
be riding that wave.
Well, you need it, how about, first of all, on Tampa Bay side, what do you think of their usage of Julio Jones?
Man, it's going to happen. Yeah. It's going to happen.
I mean, they were handing him the ball off.
They were handing him the ball. He threw him a deep pass that Julio caught an incredible deep pass. He almost had a second big catch as well. I would say this: especially if Chris Godwin is in and out of being, he played like 2 snaps and then he had to go out because of a hamstring injury. He's questionable right now. It's actually probably doubtful that he plays for week 2. So as long as that's happening and it's not the Mike Evans, Chris Godwin show, I would very much start Julio Jones. I think that, and also there's incentives built into his contract that if he gets a certain amount of catches, just like
Brady
Antonio Brown, Brady loves that shit. He looks out for that shit. And he knows the numbers, so he kind of counts in his head. Okay, how many targets have I given to Julio today? Fuck it, I'll throw one more that way. So I'm high on Julio Jones. I am sell on the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, we were never buying the Cowboys anyways.
It was really only Tony Pollard that I wanted. And I think that still might be a thing because they were using him a lot in this game. It just didn't ever.
Not without Dak, bro.
With no Dak, I'm telling you, this team, they won't win a game. I don't even value Dak that much. I don't think Dak's that great of a quarterback. But when Cooper Rush came in there for those last couple of possessions, it was bad. It was like, oh no, this is not. Now,
I'm going to go back and watch all these.
If I was Dallas, I definitely would be calling San Francisco up. I get it. It's a rental. You're getting Jimmy G for 1 year, but Dak might not be back for 8 weeks. And it could be more than that. And if he does come back, are you even in a position where you're going to be in? You could be 0-8. I mean, I don't know what games.
One of the things I heard, the reason why San Francisco kept Jimmy G is because Trey Lance has just looked like shit.
Well, and he did. He did, and I was wrong about that. But he's on this list too. But yeah, Green Bay at Minnesota was.
Dallas.
So yeah, Tampa Bay, Dallas. Selling Dallas. I'm not happy Dak being out is wild.
No.
And Tampa Bay look great, and I think they get better as the year goes on. Green Bay at Minnesota. Tampa Bay's defense. Too. Tampa Bay's defense, I know that we're not high on the Cowboys, but their defense was getting after it. They were fucking up that offensive line. Shaq Barrett was getting back there. Yep, and their new secondary that's kind of retooled. It's not as young. They're a couple of years older. They look good. Antoine Winfield Jr. and
I did see that he got a pick. Didn't
he got a pick. Yeah. But yeah, I'm big on Tampa Bay, obviously.
No.
But yeah, Green Bay at Minnesota. Man, this was another one, not a close game, but it was exactly what I talked about, where I was high on Minnesota this year and low on Green Bay, and then I picked this. I went against the grain. I did too. This is the one that I went against the grain. Actually, by the time the game started, Minnesota ended up being a 2-point favorite. So originally, when I first
Green
did
Bay
it,
was the favorite.
Green Bay was a 1.5 point favorite. But it must, I don't know, maybe Vegas and the world,
because everybody started betting Minnesota.
Yeah. And then they flipped it.
They bet it the line
That's
down.
Probably what happened.
That's exactly
probably what happened. Yeah, but yeah, Green Bay at Minnesota, man. And then, look, the first play of the game, he hit Christian Watson, his rookie. Aaron Rodgers hit him in the hands perfectly, like on a go route. It was 50 yards in the air. It was a perfectly thrown ball. Hits him right in the hands, and he just bloop bloop. And it was like, and you could see Aaron Rodgers' face was like, fuck. Like this is gonna be a long fucking year.
I went and picked up Sammy Watkins and started him.
Ooh, yeah,
because he always blows up in week 1.
Yeah, and I mean you're not wrong. I mean somebody's got to take that spot. Somebody's got to fill in.
Catch them balls.
Somebody's got to catch these balls.
Apparently nobody did.
But nobody
did. You see that Adams had more yards than all of the Green Bay receivers combined?
Well, Devonte Adams went.
Well, you had him on your lineup in our league.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I love that little threesome that I have in your league of Cooper Kupp, Devonte Adams, Michael Pittman Jr.
Oh yeah,
boy.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna score some points. And DeAndre Swift. I reached for him. I kind of took him earlier than I've been taking running backs.
Your team looks good in that.
He played really good. So Jalen Hurts, even in a game where you could argue they maybe could have done more. It sounds weird because they scored 38 points.
Well, he didn't have any passing touchdowns.
No.
But he still did all right.
But A.J. Brown killed it, and it makes me mad. I wish I would have drafted A.J. Brown. I've been talking him up this whole offseason, and he looks like to be a – I know that I have Devontae Smith in a lot of leagues, and that motherfucker scored 0 points. Yeah. So we jumped off the Minnesota, but man, Minnesota with Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson looks good,
and Adam Thielen is an afterthought, and that's why I've stayed away.
He'll still get some touchdowns, but he's not what he. I mean, Justin Jefferson is just better.
He's going to take all these targets, you know.
And they look smart though now, giving up Diggs to draft him.
Yeah. I mean, yes and no. I would say
maybe they should have gave up Thielen and kept Diggs.
Yeah, could you imagine having Diggs?
Stephon Diggs. Well, they wouldn't. They just wouldn't have paid him, you know.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But Justin Jefferson hasn't gotten paid, right? He's still on his rookie deal.
That's what I'm saying. They wouldn't have paid.
Well, you might.
I think that's why they got rid of him, because he was the one that's going to cost them more money.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, man, I feel good about Minnesota this year. Yeah, they looked really good. Even on defense, they looked really good. I know it's the Packers' offense that kind of struggled, but I thought their defense played really well. They rocked Aaron Rodgers at one point. I thought for sure he was going to go out with a concussion, but he stayed in. And Green Bay will string together some wins. I'm not stupid. I know that they'll string together some wins, but.
Well, I mean, Detroit and Chicago ain't going to be you said, even though.
I don't know what to make of Chicago. I did not see that coming at all. I did not see them playing like that at all. Rainy day.
It was like.
Weird game. It was pouring down rain.
It was pouring. The fucking field was a swamp.
So,
like I say, you might just want to throw that game out.
Yeah, you really can't judge a lot about that one. Vegas at Chargers, man, this division is so fucking good. We're going to get this game again. This game was a good game. The Chargers came out and looked really good at the beginning. Then Keenan Allen went out. And then they kind of struggled in the second half to score points, but their defense held up. Devonte Adams, like you said, he
had like 17 targets,
and it hurt Hunter Renfrow, and it hurt Darren Waller as well.
That's the thing, though. That's kind of what I was thinking.
I think both of those guys will still come through. I think
Renfrow is probably going to be the one that struggles the most,
probably. But
is hurt by Adams being there the most.
But I still like the Raiders. I still thought the Raiders played well. Listen, the Chargers are going to be one of the best teams in the league.
Are good. I mean, they have. I should have kept their defense.
And it was close. It was 19-24. So the Raiders were in it, but I think people might be right about Derek Carr. Everyone's been telling me, well, you're only going to go as far as Derek Carr takes you.
That's how I feel. I feel like he's not really any better than David.
They're not winning a Super Bowl, but fantasy-wise, I still see good things coming out of the Raiders. And win-loss,
they should put up points, but I just think that offense is. I mean, I think that we've seen the best of Derek Carr.
Yeah, probably.
How much more can you get out of him?
Definitely.
They've given him a number one receiver, and they've given him arguably a better offensive-minded coach. So if he doesn't get it done this year, then shit.
Yeah,
maybe they should be given. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would imagine this is it. This is the last dance for Derek Carr in Las Vegas. If they don't do anything this year with the weapons that he has, Josh McDaniels and that front office have got to be thinking, let's just get rid of him and let's go for it in the draft. Let's give all our draft capital that we have, and let's go for one of these quarterbacks.
Well, I mean, in like the way, take a page out of like the Rams book and just fucking do it.
Yep.
But I think that we're in this other situation of a Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp kind of thing. Is that, I mean, he went to Devonte Adams and Carr went to college together, right? And 17 targets in one game.
Well, we kind of knew this was going to happen. We knew that they bring in this big receiver. You kind of expect that this was going to happen, but
that's not,
and it came to fruition.
And Adams is fucking good.
Yeah, he's good.
Like, why would you not throw him the ball? He's open.
Yep. Vegas and Chargers was a great game. Kansas City at Arizona, another one that not a close game, but I had to bring it up because boy oh boy are the Kansas City Chiefs.
They look good.
They really took a step back, huh? Lost Tyreek Hill and they suck now. They are no longer a great team at that.
I'm very happy that I have Travis Kelce.
Hell yeah.
And I have Edwards-Helaire too. So
man.
He's going to be on my starting.
That really makes me mad. I drafted Clyde Edwards-Helaire with my second pick in all leagues last year because I believed that this could be a thing, that this checking down to fucking Clyde Edwards-Helaire, that in this passing... Fuck you, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But yeah, no, I get it. It's all good. I think Kansas City. I think we were wrong, and I think they win that division. I think that as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you're good for 30 points. I don't think as long as you have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, you're good for 30 points.
Someone was saying that this could make Mahomes a better quarterback because he doesn't have that
And he did. He spread it out.
To spread it around.
He spread it out amongst the rest of his receivers much better. Obviously, Kelsey's going to get targets. That's
because he creates mismatches.
Right, exactly.
Again,
and
if
that's not going to stop. It's not going to change. It didn't matter if Tyreek Hill was there or not. Travis Kelce got targets last year too. So, but yeah, man. I like the Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah, he got some touches.
Yeah, and he's a rookie that people have been high on. And so on that offense, he's definitely somebody that I'm going to look for out there in the waiver wire. Arizona, too. Man, I've been low on him this whole offseason. We've said there's some fuckery going on.
I just don't like Murray very much. Maybe I just don't like him.
I'm with you. He's too small, and it's just a matter of time before he gets fucking hurt.
Here's the thing.
And
I don't like him just because of the way, he just seems like a douchebag, a whiny little I'm really fucking good kind of guy.
Yeah, it is.
And that somebody else out there in the NFL feels the same way, and somebody's gonna light that dude up one of these days, he's gonna have that that Cam Newton kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, he's already been hurt because he's not the size of these other gentlemen in this league.
He's half the size of Cam Newton.
You're definitely going to see moments where he just gets fucking absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, I think without
Hopkins,
their
defense is
whole
not the
offense
same.
is going to struggle.
Their defense with no J.J. Watt, no Chandler Jones.
JJ's already out.
I'm not high on. Oh, I'll tell you who else broke my heart is seeing Justin Reed kick off and kick extra points and kick field goals for the Kansas City Chiefs and then turn around and play a really good safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. Us losing Justin Reed was not a good thing, and the fact that we gave him to such a good fucking team, we're definitely going to see Justin Reed many times this year as Houston Texans fan and go, oh shit, look, that's Justin Reed. Yeah, Kansas City, Arizona, not a close game at all. 44-21. Fuck me. It was over from the beginning. Kansas City was up the entire game. Philly at Detroit. Man, this was a crazy game. Detroit came out, punched them in the mouth. I think they were up like 14-0. And then Philly battled back.
And then it went up pretty big, right?
It was close. Yeah, they went up. Philly went up pretty big, and then Detroit battled back. And so, Detroit is a scrappy team. 35 points in this league is good. If you score 35 points, you're usually going to win.
Philly should win their division.
Yeah. And
should be in a playoff.
Especially now that Dak is... Now that the Cowboys really... you can believe in...
Shit, it looks like Washington might be their...
Okay, all right.
Biggest competition. Carson Wentz can win games for you.
I guess. I'm not buying.
He could lose them for you too.
Yeah, he almost did.
He gonna win.
He almost fucked it up. He threw a couple interceptions late in that game where he was trying to lose that game. And then but then he also came up with two big plays, Terry McLaurin and Dotson to win the game. So I hear you. Now this was Jacksonville. I just want to, I want to bring everybody back to earth a little bit. It wasn't the best team in the league. Jacksonville's still Jacksonville, but yeah. But Philly at Detroit, I feel good about Philly.
Swift looks good.
Devonte Smith scored 0 points.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to as teams start then focusing on Brown, then he'll get his.
I'm not gonna give up on it.
Did he even get any targets? I mean, he had 0 points.
He got 4 targets, and he didn't catch one of them. So it was a bad look. But I'm still gonna stick with it. He's
definitely not their number one. No, I mean, obviously.
And I knew that. I knew that AJ Brown was, but I still thought that he would get good numbers.
I looked at him several times.
But bad week 1 for him. 0 points for me, and I have him in 2. I have him in 2 of the leagues, and not in ours, but I have him in my other 2 leagues, and I went 3-0, baby. All 3 leagues. I'll be a girl.
Which means your strategy is working.
Than a point. Well, it is for now. However, Elijah Mitchell really puts a wrinkle in that.
But that was the whole point of running backs, is that someone's going to get hurt, and you can always find running backs that you want an elite receiver.
God, I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope I can find somebody out there. I have some people that I'm high on. This Dontrell Hilliard kid on Tennessee. It seems like they're using him as the pass-catching running back, and they were using him quite a bit.
He scored 2 touchdowns.
He scored 20 points, and the 2 touchdowns are a big part of it. However, he just got a lot of snaps. And he was out there with Derrick Henry. So I kind of see moments of, okay, well, maybe I could exploit the fact that they're going to try to save Derrick Henry.
They're
going to try to not use him. But they can't lose games to the Giants. No. That can't happen. But we're getting all over the place.
Yeah,
let's go to San Francisco at Chicago. I just wanted to bring this up. We already talked about it a little bit. Trey Lance didn't look great. It was a rainy day, and Chicago played way above where I thought they could play.
I think we throw this one out. The fucking weather was shit.
Yeah. And I'm still not buying Chicago. I'm not like, Justin Fields is the real deal, and it's time to go.
They're gonna be scrappy. They're gonna win a few games that we didn't expect them to win this one.
Yeah, actually, obviously, this next week we got to get to it. We'll get to it coming up. But I actually have them winning.
They did lose Elijah Mitchell. Debo's still getting handoffs, so that's good for me. But I need him to catch more than one fucking pass.
Yeah, I have Debo in the league too, and I could have used more from.
And honestly, shit. If Trey Lance can't throw the fucking ball and they can't win games with him, then how long is his leash here?
I know, right? Like you gotta feel like you already are looking over your shoulder if you're Trey Lance.
You should be.
You lost the game. You really didn't put out much output. I think all you had was an interception. I think he had like 100 yards.
It
was bad.
They made the playoffs last year.
Yep.
How far did they get? I can't remember.
No, they made it to the NFC Championship game. Yeah.
So
they almost beat the
expectation is to take the next. Yeah. Oh, that's right. If the people didn't intercept that fucking ball, they would have been in the fucking Super Bowl.
It's fucking Super Bowl.
So you literally are going. This guy took them to the NFC Championship. The next step is the Super Bowl.
2 more games. I'd say in this next game, if he comes out and he looks that way in the first half.
They're in San Francisco, so the weather should be good. And so not a great, or arguably not a great team.
You can't tell them that.
So if he has a shitty fucking week too.
No one told Seattle they were supposed to lose last night. I don't think they got that memo.
Right.
But
I got to go back and watch that one. I watched some of it, but I'm going to go back. There's several games I'm going to go back and watch the replay.
But I think you're right. I think that we kind of throw that out. That game is
I'm willing to throw it out and let's see what happens next week. But I don't think the Bears are going to be quite as bad as we thought, but Jesus.
I know. I'm still not. I'm not starting any Bears. I'm not
glad I don't have any Bears, and I'm kind of glad
time,
the only fucking San Francisco I have is
and see,
Debo.
I went big on San Francisco. So and I have Elijah Mitchell in every single league, all three. This just kills me. He's going to be out for 8 weeks. I am immediately week 1 scrambling, sending out trades, trying to, And now what I've got to hope for is that I also have Joe Burrow and Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins didn't do bad. So the guy that has Dak Prescott has no other quarterback. So my hope is that maybe I can intrigue him with some Kirk Cousins and say, hey, I'll give you Kirk Cousins for one of your running backs. But, I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm because of a fucking Elijah Mitchell, you son of a bitch.
But see, here's the thing with only the one quarterback leagues is that there probably is another decent quarterback out there.
I mean, Carson Wentz is out there.
Yeah, and he scored more than Cousins.
He did. He scored a lot.
So he'll go get Wentz, and he'll be like, no, fuck you, I'll keep my running backs. This is the problem with the one quarterback system.
Yep, it is. It is.
It makes that position...
Or hope that some of my receivers go off, that I have an extra receiver kind of go off, and I can kind of intrigue people with that.
But again, this was part of the whole strategy.
Yeah.
Right, running backs get hurt. You're going to find them on the waiver wire.
Yep.
I mean,
here we go. Well, I'm here.
It's
I'm
San Francisco. Who's the next guy up?
Jeff Wilson.
Yep,
Jeff Wilson.
Should be.
Jeff Wilson should, and I definitely, although I made all the jokes last year about whatever's in the water in the running back room of the San Francisco 49ers. You don't want none of that because they can't seem to keep anybody healthy. And then what I do? I go and draft Elijah fucking Mitchell. I just don't learn. I'm a glutton for punishment.
You're learning. At least you had a strategy, a different strategy. You changed your strategy, and it worked week 1. You're 3-0.
I'm 3-0.
And how many points did Elijah Mitchell get you?
4.
See?
Yeah.
That means you could have won with 0. You don't even need a running back.
Yeah.
Just don't even start.
I'm going to leave a blank spot.
Go get Rex Burkhead. He got fucking snapped.
Well, one of the guys that I have is James Cook. And he got 1 possession for the Buffalo Bills, and he fumbled. So he's a rookie. And I think that what happened is that the coach was like, we're up. We're winning. Fuck it. I'll give this kid a chance another time, but I just want to see how good this offense could be. But I still think on Buffalo's offense, like you said, running backs get hurt. So Devin Singletary misses some time.
Yeah, but you're not starting him.
Well, I might have to. I have no other options.
Rex Burkhead would be a better option than Cook. He got fucking...
He got 12 points.
Yeah, I know, but he played like 40-something. He outsnapped Pierce by 30 plays.
Maybe this was... And again, let's talk about it because it's the next game on here is Indianapolis at Houston. It starts off and I'm like, well, fuck. This is not what I wanted at all. I want us to lose every game. And they were fucking killing it.
Indy looked terrible.
Indy did look terrible. And I don't know if it was just... Maybe not a lot of time together. Maybe not a lot of...
They started looking better in the second half.
Yeah, and they did. They came back in the second... Obviously, they did. They tied the game. They tied
We
this
also
game.
Fucking turned the ball over.
No, the Texans just... It was like, what are we doing?
Well, you wanted to lose.
I did.
I mean...
I was excited to see the way
honestly,
they were playing. But
Indy was one of the Super Bowl, people were picking them to go to the playoffs, and we tied them. We should have beat them. And honestly, I think Houston probably could win that division now with the
and especially
Pro Bowler Davis Mills.
The way that Tennessee played, the way that Jacksonville played, the way that
Texans. Yeah, we're gonna win.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Texans.
Who needs fucking Watson?
I wanted them to lose.
We got Mills.
I hate a tie. I fucking hate.
Honestly,
a tie.
I actually did watch this game, and I thought that Pierce was used quite a bit. Like if he was in the game, he got the ball. It seemed. Rex Burkhead did get more usage, but keep in mind he's a rookie. I think that will change, I think Pierce is going to get the ball more and more and more. Burkhead will be used on passing downs, but we have a shitty
Howard
fucking
two catches, two touchdowns.
Two catches. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And Brandon Cooks seems to be the big target still.
He'll be Brandon Cooks will get his. I think that you could for the next couple weeks that Burkhead will be a usable person, especially if you're in deeper leagues and you need like a flex option. But I do believe that Pierce will end up. He looked all right. He looked good. I like the way he ran.
Yeah.
But we're a shitty team, man.
Yeah. And I hope that we lose the rest of them. Fuck those ties. Let's go for the L's, baby. We talked about a lot here. We're going to get into another down. I just briefly wanted to show you because it blew my mind when I wrote this down. There were 5 out of the 7 teams that made the playoffs last year for the NFC that lost yesterday. Dallas, Green Bay, Arizona, the Rams, and the San Francisco 49ers. There were 4 out of the 7 teams that made the playoffs for the AFC that lost last this week. Tennessee, Raiders, Bengals, Patriots. And I just had to put on there because we did all kind of think that Denver and Indianapolis were going to be a very good team, and both of them lost as well. All of these are big quarterback names, or at least names that we all know that I wrote up here, and all of them lost. The Colts tied, which is basically a loss in my eyes.
Tied to Houston,
and
it's a loss for the Colts.
Yeah, it is a loss, and it's just a bizarre week, man. It was a crazy week. If I had told you that these were going to be the losing names, I think you would have said you're fucking crazy. But crazy week one. Let's go to the next down because that took an hour. Second down. Brought to you by MyBookie.com. I hope so. MyBookie.com. Put promo code "fuck the algorithm." I don't know if they'll be down with that, but I would love that. But to get
$50 on
MyBookie.com called and was like, "You got a lot of these wrong. This was not very good as far as Vegas is concerned." But I want to run through my picks from last week and just say what I got right and what I got wrong. We're gonna leave out the games that we just kind of went in depth on, but we'll talk about some of these other ones. It started off with Thursday, Buffalo at the Rams. Buffalo was a 2-point favorite. They clearly covered 31-10. Did you say the Rams?
I said the Rams. Yeah. They were a home dog, so I took them.
Yeah, and Buffalo won, so I got that right. And then I went on a big streak of losing here. Indianapolis was a 7-point favorite at Houston, and a tie. I don't know how that works in Vegas, but I said Indianapolis, so I'm going to assume I was wrong because of the spread.
I got that one right.
I don't even know how that works with a fucking tie, but I just put that I got it wrong.
Well, because you did get it wrong because Indy needed to win by 8 points.
Yeah, so I got it wrong.
And they did not.
New Orleans at Atlanta. This was one that we didn't talk about, and it did come down to a last-second kick. Atlanta actually played a lot better than I thought they would.
Yeah, they should have won this game.
Marcus Mariota played a lot better than I thought.
Until it fucking mattered.
Yeah, true. Until the last moments. But
all they had to do.
Cordell Patterson looked good. I mean, that clearly was. Maybe I'm sleeping on that, but
what's his name got hurt? Their starting running back got hurt,
what's his name?
Then after he got hurt, Patterson got most of the work, which is good for me.
It is, yeah, and I it's another one of those situations with the Steelers and with some of the Bears. Like, I kind of feel like this is best case scenario for the Falcons. This was maybe like the best foot they have going forward as injuries start to add up and things like that.
But they're not going to be pushovers.
Probably not.
They're not going to be the fucking Lions.
They played hard.
They went 0-16.
Hard. They've got a tough task of having to play Tampa Bay twice, but
I'm glad that I have Cordero because I'd have been pissed off if I didn't.
And New Orleans came back. And
New Orleans played all right.
I'll tell you who looked good was Michael Thomas.
And Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, he threw Jarvis Landry quite a bit too.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The only thing is that Jameis again got to where he had to go into the blue medical tent it makes me feel like it's not maybe something you can count on for the whole year. There's no way he stays healthy a whole year. He's never stayed healthy a whole year. He always gets banged up. So,
while he's out there, as long as he will sling that thing.
Well, and how weird is this? So Taysom Hill listed as a tight end.
Right, I was looking at that,
and the dude had a pretty good game.
Well, if they're gonna give him even like 5 to 6 rushes a game,
which I think they are,
he can absolutely get you 50 yards.
And they like to do it in the red zone.
And he does get touchdowns.
So he'll score touchdowns.
Hey, I was thinking about, I was like, if you're struggling at tight end, which many people are,
it's almost like doing a two-quarterback.
I'm all about it.
Plus, let's say Jameis goes down. Well, then they're throwing. I know they have Andy Dalton.
So here would be the thing, though. If you get him as a tight end and you're using him as a tight end, and then Jameis goes down, will he be listed as a quarterback then?
So it's funny because 2 years ago, when they had this situation of that, it was the same thing where
was he listed as a tight end though?
He was listed as a tight end until he took over that starting role as a quarterback,
and then the
next week they switched it. So for 1 week, I was able to list him as a tight end, and I basically rolled 2 quarterbacks out there, and I killed it. And then the next week, I couldn't do that. But yeah, and I would assume ESPN might do the same kind of thing this time, but we shall see. I don't know. Came down to a last-second kick. I know New Orleans didn't think that they should be fighting so hard against the Atlanta Falcons. I didn't think so. Vegas thought they were a 5.5-point favorite on the road. I picked New Orleans, so I was wrong on that because they only won by 1 point.
I picked it, man. Another home dog.
Yeah, and my bookie called and they said that was pretty good. Good job, Dannon.
I think I did. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, look this up.
I'd have to watch the show. I didn't.
San Francisco at Chicago. We talked about this. I picked San Francisco at a 6.5-point favorite on the road. They did not. They lost that game, so 10-19. I was wrong. Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. I said Cincinnati would win. They were a 4-point favorite at home. They lost. I got that wrong. Philly at Detroit was a 6-point favorite on the road. I said Philly would cover, and they did not. It was only 38-35. Detroit is scrappy. I should have known.
I took Detroit, remember?
Because, scrappy team.
Because last year, they always...
Yep.
All their games are like they lost by 3.
I can't read. I think it's a 7. I think Miami was a 7-point favorite at home. We didn't talk about this, and this is one of the games we didn't talk about. But man,
oh, you got that one right.
Yeah, I got it right.
I think I took New England too.
Yeah, I got it right. And let me tell you this: I was dead right on New England. They're a sorry team.
They didn't.
They're a sorry team. What do you have for me to be excited about if I'm a New England Patriots fan? Plus, Mac Jones got hurt, and he hurt his back.
Did he?
And they ran X-rays and tests and stuff. They said everything's okay, but he's still questionable for week 2. I don't even know who their backup is. I have no fucking idea. But without Mac Jones and that little slimmer of hope that you have with him,
back? I don't know who
I have no idea. I have no idea. And if it is a backup, they're dead in the water. They're definitely going to lose. So, anyways,
not excited about New England at all.
New England looked bad, and Miami looked good. Miami looked good. Miami's defense looked good. I know it was New England, and so it's not really you don't really know yet. But I mean, Tyreek Hill he had an average day. He didn't even have like a big blow up day. Yeah. Jalen Waddle scored a nice touchdown. Doesn't seem like they had much of a running game going on. That might come as we go here, but Miami crushed them 20-7, and so I got that one right. Baltimore at the Jets. Baltimore was a 6.5-point favorite on the road, but the Jets with Joe Flacco.
We all took Baltimore.
What did we really expect here? It actually didn't show me a lot because it was because the Jets are just they're the Jets. Come on, they're the Jets.
There's nothing really to talk about either way. Yeah. Lamar Jackson's not hurt yet.
I will say
Andrews didn't score very much.
Duvernay.
But he also scored 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he got a lot of targets. He dropped a couple of balls, but I think he got like 10 or 11 targets. So
you really want a fucking Baltimore wide receiver?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing him out there if you're in trouble, if you find yourself, and not in our league, obviously.
Oh yeah,
not in our league, obviously not. But in a 12-team league, if you find yourself in trouble, he's somebody to think about stashing maybe.
I don't even know if I'd want him in a 12-team league. It's gotta be.
It depends on what's going on in your.
I'd rather have Sterling Shepard.
Let's say you got Chris Godwin and Keenan Allen and T. Higgins and.
I'd rather have Samuel or Sterling Shepard on your list there than Duvernay.
Isaiah McKenzie is out there in some leagues, and he's definitely going to be a good player for Buffalo. They were using him a lot too in that game. So
too. This in Buffalo's. You want a piece of Buffalo's offense.
Yep. Kansas
especially
City,
if you're in
Buffalo,
that deeper league.
any of these.
Kansas City, at least in our league, there's both Mecole Hardman and Valdez Scantling are out there.
And I think maybe the problem is what we're talking about, though, is that he is going to spread it around. Yeah. So,
well, it would be like a flex play. At least in this 8-team league, that would be like a flex play, pick him up. Probably wouldn't hold on to him.
No, and I mean, I ain't Cooper Kupp, Devonte Adams, Michael Pittman Jr. You can go ahead and lock in those. They're not going nowhere. If I'm going to win, it's going to be because of those three guys.
I think Pittman is going to be the kind of like the Cooper Kupp of this year. Like he's going to be that surprise. Like holy shit. Yeah, because they got another thing. Like who else is he gonna fucking throw it to?
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have a tight end. He doesn't have
he locked in on him. And that's what brought him back pretty much. In the fucking, I'll tell you what, though, we didn't talk about that in the Indy game. They can't give fucking Taylor they can't give him 37 touches every fucking game,
and it didn't work.
He's gonna get hurt.
I know that he ended up. I think he ended up with like 20-something points, which is fine. But
again, he got like 37 fucking touches or something.
Not sustainable.
And I think they were talking at the beginning of the year that like didn't want him to have 30 touches a game, and get the fuck out of here. He's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, but Baltimore at Jets, kind of a snoozer. I mean, I think we all picked Baltimore.
Flacco threw the ball like 60 times. I know
he actually had a pretty good fantasy game too. But you are
60 times.
Nobody's picking up Joe Flacco.
They're never going to throw the ball 60 times again.
No, ever in his life. Jacksonville at Washington. This was an interesting game, man. Jacksonville is scrappy, and they should be better than last year. I think these are just two bad teams, so it's why I wasn't really high on this game. I mean, it was what it was, and listen, Carson Wentz made some big plays down at the end. He threw a bullet to Terry McLaurin that was perfectly thrown for a touchdown, and
Curtis Samuel.
Yeah. He had a good game. Jacksonville, not really much to write
Christian
home about.
Kirk, I think, had a good game. They didn't use Etienne. So Etienne isn't being used.
No, James Robinson
is the lead back. I mean, Etienne played and got some usage, and he should get more because essentially this is his rookie year.
James Robinson's out there in ours. I'm going for it because I got to fix my Elijah Mitchell problem.
Somebody else might be going for it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel
you better win that auction.
I know that's the weird thing about the money.
That's the best thing about the money.
You don't know.
That's the best thing.
You don't know.
Because you don't know how much to bid.
Is this how much he's gonna do?
That's why you gotta do those weird. I do the weird numbers, like Okay. I'm not even gonna say a number.
Yeah, don't tell me. Because it sounds like you're going for my guy, James Robinson.
Nah, man. I just said somebody else is probably going for him.
Yeah, but you said it ominously, and now I can't see your eyes, so I know what's going on.
I was like, man, I got sunglasses on, and these lights are bright as fuck.
So
and I'm cool.
Washington ended up winning the game on a last-second Jahan Dotson touchdown. I picked Washington, a 3-point favorite at home over Jacksonville, and I believe they got that easy, 28-22. Yeah. Jacksonville, still Jacksonville, but they did play better. I think they'll win some games. I think they'll win more than they did last year, but I'm still Trevor Lawrence, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't know. I'm not into it.
I want to watch him play, so I'm gonna probably watch that game again. But I have a suspicion that his offensive line isn't very good either.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
you're right.
I think that they're kind of shitty.
Yep. Jacksonville at Washington, Cleveland at Carolina. This was Baker Mayfield's return. This was him getting to face his former team, and he played like Baker Mayfield. He did what Baker does. I've never been a big Baker Mayfield fan.
Now Cleveland's got a good defense. Let's give them some credit.
And Nick Chubb, and they did what they had to do to win the game.
They're going to play good defense and run the fucking ball.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. And how scary is this? Let's say they win 5 or 6 games
before
Deshaun gets back. And they're like,
when do you stash Deshaun Watson? At what point? Because it's going to be really late in the season.
I don't know.
But for the playoff, like you could literally have him for the playoffs.
You would have to be really upset with your especially in a one quarterback. Well, I mean, he's so good
because there's a chance. That he comes out and like the last fucking 4 weeks of the season, he's the best fucking quarterback.
Okay, you're talking me into it.
So I'm just saying, when do you stash him? Like when? Like he's coming back.
It can't be yet. It can't. No, it can't be any time. I don't think in any
league that unless you have a fucking 10. Super deep bench.
I think week 10.
Because when's he come back? When's his first 13.
Game? No, it's week 14 that he plays. So you'd literally only get him for the playoffs. You'd get him
for like a game or two. Oh, jeez.
So if let's say you're in a position where your quarterback hasn't been necessarily killing it for you, and you're like, "Fuck it, I'm going to go for it." That's fun.
Well, even in ours, a 2-quarterback league.
Yeah, it's fun
because this season's 14 weeks because there's only 8 teams. And then the playoffs are
so you could have for
15,
1 week
16,
of regular
7.
season, and then you could have them for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
A 2-quarterback league. See, again, this is the other point of a 2-quarterback league is that now Deshaun Watson's fucking relevant, even in an 8-team league. But because it's 2 quarterbacks,
Yeah, but also Carolina didn't look very good. That's the other side of the ball in the suit.
McCaffrey didn't do very much.
No, and then why the fuck would you believe McCaffrey? Oh, same thing with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley had a great game. Now, what's the over-under on how many games both of these gentlemen give you?
Right.
I get it. Saquon looked great. How many games is he going to play? How many?
When's he get hurt?
I'll say less than 6.
I think one of the reasons why he keeps getting hurt is kind of like that Bo Jackson thing. He's just so explosive that he fucking rips his own fucking joints out of place.
So is Christian McCaffrey. When I see both of them play, it's not that I'm like, it's not that I watch these guys play and I'm like, oh, they suck. It's not that at all. It's that
I wish they'd stay healthy.
They can't stay healthy. Yeah. They literally can't. So
wouldn't it be great if they did? Because
awesome.
It's fun to watch.
If Saquon had the physical ability and the explosiveness that he has, but he had Derrick Henry's body, I might be a little bit more like, you know what? Maybe. Because I don't sleep on Derrick Henry because look at the fucking Predator. You can't tell me that guy's not going to keep playing well. It's that Adrian Peterson effect where, oh, by the way, did you see him get knocked out?
I saw that it hit. I saw that it happened, but I didn't watch the video.
It was nice. It was, honestly, Le'Veon Bell, I was like, ooh, Le'Veon Bell got a little right hook. That was nasty. That was a good little hit. And Adrian Peterson is
he's a big dude.
He's a big motherfucker.
He's bigger than Le'Veon Bell, isn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, when they were in the ring together, it looked pretty even. Le'Veon Bell's in great shape, too.
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell's in great shape, too. Yeah, I've always kind of thought, I love that this is happening because I've always wanted to see what would it look like if these football players fought. So I'm so glad that the celebrity death match is coming to real life. But man,
so many of them are going into MMA now.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Yeah. So is Dana White. But we got off track. We were talking about
it'd be like that sometimes. So we're on Cleveland, Carolina. I will say this: DJ Moore did not get a whole lot of looks.
Robbie Anderson
did. Yeah. And so last year, Robbie Anderson sucked, and everything went to DJ Moore because fucking what's his name can only throw it to DJ Moore. Well, maybe Baker can only throw it to Robbie Anderson. He's on the radar.
Yeah, he's on far away from my radar. But I hear what you're saying.
He's a big play guy, and it only takes 1 or 2 from Robbie Anderson. And he's put together some seasons with not great quarterbacks.
Sure, on the Jets.
In the top 20. He was in the top 20. So I'm saying I've seen it before from that guy, and he's out there. He's out there on ours. I don't know if he's out there on...
No. He's not out there in the 12 teams, but...
Okay.
But
he might be out there.
And if you have him, it might be worth taking a flyer and starting him in your flex or whatever, just to kind of.
And Cleveland's got a good defense, so I mean, remember, And Baker had to have been way too fucking hyped up.
I think that was a lot of it.
Baker's a very emotional dude, it seems, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, he doesn't seem to handle his emotions very well.
Yeah.
Now, when he went back to, was it Texas Tech or whatever, in college, he beat the shit out of him, but they also he played at Oklahoma, so get
Oklahoma
the fuck out of here. It's a little different here. But
Cleveland and Carolina, though, 26-24. I got it wrong. I picked Carolina. I thought Baker Mayfield had to win this game, and he did. He needed for his pride to win this game, but guess what he did? He Baker Mayfielded it. That's a verb.
And Cleveland got one without Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, they got 1-0. They're 1-0. Let's see how many we can get before Deshaun comes.
Aren't you glad you don't have Amari Cooper?
How crazy would it be? How fucking insane would it be that they make the playoffs and then they get him to come in? So all you got to do is hold it together until he gets there, and he'll carry us to the promised land. Because Jacoby Brissett is not very good. That was another big takeaway from that game. But and they were a Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt team. They ran the ball. Yeah. So Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both scored crazy fantasy points too. So I think we talked about Cleveland, Carolina quite enough. The Giants at Tennessee. This was a crazy game. Brian Daboll, the New York Giants coach, goes for 2. Instead of just tying the game at 20, he goes for 2 to make it 21-20.
Oh, is that how they won? I didn't see that.
Yeah, and then Tennessee drove down the field and got in field goal range.
I did know that.
And missed the field goal to fucking win the game.
Randy missed.
Which was crazy. But Tennessee was a 5.5-point favorite. They're missing A.J. Brown. Their offense is just not... And they were trying to get Derrick Henry going. It never really happened. Saquon Barkley had a great game, and the Giants.
And he looked great. He looked awesome.
Again, I kind of feel like these bad teams. This is the ceiling. This is
just waiting for.
This is as high as it gets. There's a floor here with the Giants, and it's going to be bad.
I would love to see Saquon have a full, healthy season. I'd like to see what he could do.
That'd be great, but I just don't believe that happens.
But is it going to happen?
But I got this wrong. Tennessee was a 5.5-point favorite. I took Tennessee, and they lost.
Who I picked. Probably Tennessee.
Yeah, they lost. I'm not crazy about anybody that I would go out and pick up out there, but I guess do your thing.
I mean, Sterling Shepard, and again, only because we've seen it before.
Yeah,
he's been a viable wide receiver.
He's got fucking health issues too, though.
But he's healthy right now, and Daniel Jones and him have played together. So I mean, again, we're talking about somebody that if you needed a wide receiver that you might want to pick up and take a look at.
Yeah,
he's one of the ones that I would.
So Giants, Tennessee, 21-20, and I got it wrong. Green Bay, Minnesota. We talked about this, 7-23. I guess Minnesota became the favorite, but I know they weren't originally, and that's why I told you to go to mybookie.com and make that money. I knew Minnesota was going to do this.
But even if you took Minnesota as the favorite, you still won.
Still won. They killed them 23-7.
Yeah.
Kansas City killed Arizona 44-21. Vegas lost to the Chargers. I actually picked this. I think they were a 3.5-point favorite. The Chargers were, so I covered. And I thought, even though I'm high on the Raiders, I kind of thought the Chargers would start off well and they would cover. So I got that right. And Tampa Bay at Dallas, Jesus, it was an absolute beatdown. I think they were only a 2.5-point favorite on the road. They won 19-3, so I obviously got that right as well. So I went on a little run there at the end. And then last night, Monday night, no one told Seattle that they were supposed to lose this game.
No, I got this one wrong.
No one told Geno Smith that he was supposed to leave this league and not be a starting quarterback in this league because he was like, fuck all that. I'm going to play really well. And he did. Geno played really well. They spread the ball around, which is concerning if you do have some of these players that are on that.
I'm still glad I don't want to fucking Seattle. No. And I'm all right with Denver. I watched some of this. Jerry Jeudy had 20 points. I'm cool with that. I think Russell Wilson will play better. I think that he might have been a little overhyped for this. He threw several deep balls to Courtland Sutton
that didn't
get caught.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's going to him means that they'll continue to go to him.
Yeah. Javonte Williams had a good game.
I saw a few pass interference calls on deep balls to Courtland Sutton, and I think he still scored like 12 points. So I'm all right with it.
Yeah. I think it comes around. I think you're right. There was a lot of emotions in this.
And Seattle played better than expected. And maybe Denver thought they were going to go in there and kick their ass, you know?
Shut your fucking holes! But it's a good. The puppies are right. We have done the pick'ems here. Got that one wrong. Obviously, they were a 6-point favorite on the road. Probably should have noticed that was a pretty big number, especially for a brand new team playing together. So, but I got it wrong. 16-17. Seattle got the win last night. Another last second. Also, I'm playing against the Denver kicker. I was up 19 points. I was up by 19 points. All he had going was Denver's kicker. But here I am in this situation where I'm like, I swear to fucking God, if this kicker goes off. And he started to. He scored like 8 points kind of quickly. And I was like, oh, shit. And then that last kick, he also has built-in extra points in this league. It's not my league, obviously. It's this other guy's league. Built-in extras if it's a 60-yard field goal.
And it was a
64-yard field goal to win the game. And so I'm sitting there watching this game. I'm like,
would you have lost if he made it?
Because it would have been 3, and I think it's only like a 1-point bonus. So it would only be.
You'd have been so pissed off if you lost to a kicker.
I would have gone on the biggest rant ever about how pointless kickers are. But of course he does.
And then that would have been their argument for having kickers.
Yeah, whatever. But fuck that, because he didn't. He did what kickers did. He did what kickers do, and he shanked it. There was a lot of kicking miss that as a head coach in the NFL, I would not allow it. I would not allow it. You would walk over to the sidelines, and I would go, so all these grown-ass men are over here. They're hitting each other during the week. They're fucking sweating their asses off in the weight room. Do you know why
there's still kickers?
I don't.
Because it's called football.
Yeah,
and if
whatever.
they didn't have kickers,
whatever.
it would be the most pointless.
Whatever.
That's the one that can't get rid of kickers.
Get rid of the kickers and call it catch ball. I don't care what you call it. I don't fucking care. But yeah, no.
Running and blocking and throwing and shit.
Ball. I like it. Running and blocking and throwing shit ball. It's longer, but I'm into it. All right, moving on. Third down. The reason that you're here, the waiver wire, is finally a thing.
The whole point.
You've been watching the whole offseason of the waiver wire, and it hasn't even been a thing. But now it's a thing. The waiver wire is real. It exists. It exists
this
this
is where
morning.
You win and lose your leagues.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was pooping this morning, and I was fucking all over
I
it.
did too.
Well, and my Elijah Mitchell problem is the main reason. I have a problem. I have lost a starting running back, and I don't have a lot of viable options on my bench. So I've got to go out there, and I've got to just throw him on the IR. I'm tempted in some league, like in your league. He's going to be gone 8 weeks.
Oh, there could be no. Well, you could stash him on your IR for now.
But if somebody else that's more valuable only gets hurt for like a week or two,
then he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah. So, and with that being said, the running backs that I see that are out there in 12-team leagues, not in yours, obviously there's more in the 8-team leagues, but Jeff Wilson's out there. He's going to be taking that spot of Elijah Mitchell. I'm not crazy about it, especially after seeing the way that they played, but he's definitely an option. Yep. Kenyon Drake on the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. J.K. Dobbins is out, so as long as he's out, now they did kind of go in between Gus Edwards and Kenyon Drake, so it didn't seem like there was one guy kind of getting the full load, but I love to give guys the full load. I love to give guys the full load. But yeah, and then this is a guy I'm really high on, and we talked about it briefly already, is that Dontrell Hilliard. He got a lot of snaps, and it doesn't really seem like they're using him as much as a running back as they are just kind of a third slot receiver. He did have 2 touchdowns, which you can't count on that. But again, I'm in desperation mode. I got to go out there and hope that one of these guys pays off, and maybe he does. Maybe he's a sneaky Naheem Hines or something like that, and he gives you solid points or whatever for this year. So you're right about Rex Burkhead. I mean, he did get a lot of snaps. It was more the Rex Burkhead show than it was the Dameon Pierce show.
At least for these next few weeks. And again, you might end up dropping him later when Pierce starts getting. Nah, I mean, I'm not saying it's ideal, but I think that for the next few weeks, especially because he catches passes and shit like that, he's going to get a lot of work. And the Texans might not be as shitty as we think they are.
Yeah, he could be,
get you 12 to 15 points.
Yeah. Quarterback-wise, there's really not much in a 12-team league other than Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is out there. I don't think he's out there in both of my leagues. I think he's out there only in one of those 12-team leagues. But nobody else really. I mean, you're not really going to get Justin Fields off of what he did. You're not going to get Davis Mills or Joe Flacco. You can go pick up Joe Flacco if you want, but I don't advise it.
So again, he threw the ball 59 times. Like it's just not. That's not sustainable.
No, they're not going to do that again either. And
I can't think of any other. I mean, I will say this: the way that the Mariota is going to run the ball, and so if you're in a rushing yards are important. Running quarterbacks are definitely much better in fantasy. I'm not.
It makes me
It
makes
depends
me sick.
on the size of your league, but he didn't do too bad.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And again, Atlanta's not going to be as shitty.
Yeah.
And fuck, just
Yeah, I hear you.
I was just trying to think of it.
Not
any
a lot,
other quarterback.
as far as quarterbacks, though, there's not a lot out there.
It would not be ideal, obviously.
But wide receivers, there are some interesting ones out there. We've talked about quite a few of them. Isaiah McKenzie, we talked about Curtis Samuel, DJ Chark on the Lions. He actually didn't have that great of a game, but I think the Lions will spread the ball around and that he could have some sneaky games in there. Detroit is scrappy, and they scored 35 points. They're not going to not score points. He's an interesting one. Zay Jones for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He actually had a pretty good game, and he got a lot of targets. So that's why I wrote his name down.
I've been looking for when I'm looking for guys this week. I'm not chasing touchdowns. I'm chasing touches.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do they get the ball? How involved are they in the offense? How many plays were they on the field? What's that? That's telling you what the teams think about them.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing about Duvernay. He's their number 2. I mean, it's Rashad Bateman and him.
I don't disagree with that. My issue is it's the Ravens passing game.
I hear you. I'm not crazy about Lamar Jackson.
I just don't. I mean, I've seen him throw 5 touchdowns in a game, and then you get nothing for weeks.
Yeah.
And he's great. He's actually, when he's healthy, he's a fine fantasy quarterback because he runs.
Yeah.
And he will get you some rushing touchdowns and shit like that.
And for the first 6 weeks, I would imagine that it will be.
He's in that same conversation as Christian McCaffrey and fucking.
Yeah, but he can't stay healthy.
Right.
Because he runs. And he's going to get hit.
And Saquon. Because
Sterling Shepard, I like. For the reasons you said, I think
we've seen it before with Shepard with this quarterback, and somebody's got to catch these balls, man.
Yeah, and they don't really have a lot of options.
And he's not the only one that's injury prone. All the other motherfuckers in their wide receiver core
they got the same water that the San Francisco running back room has.
It's the coast.
Your boy Corey Davis is still out there in a lot of leagues.
Again, he wasn't even that great last year.
No,
what's his name? He's not even the number 1. What's his name?
Elijah Moore is their number 1.
Elijah Moore, right?
Yeah.
And so again, they threw the ball. I think he had 59 pass attempts. So they're just not going to do that.
Davis still didn't have that great of a game. So
he scored 13. It was very Corey Davis like.
Yeah. And Randall Cobb and Sammy Watkins are out there in a lot of leagues still too.
Watkins.
It's not a good look though because Green Bay is not very good.
I'm going to hang on to Lazard because I'm hoping that he's better than all of them and that
I think he will be.
Rodgers
he didn't
likes
play.
him. I know. That's the reason why I picked up Watkins because Lazard went out and Rodgers had said that Watkins was his number 1, and so I was like, Sammy Watkins is known for having 3 touchdowns on fucking week 1s.
Aaron lied to you. He lied to you because it didn't happen.
Well, I don't know who his number 1 target was, but
he didn't have one. He didn't. Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones was his number 1 target. But yeah, I'm out on Green Bay. I'm sell on Green Bay.
I mean, definitely better. And you know how Rodgers is very famous for coming out and sucking for a few weeks and then telling everybody to calm down.
Okay, fair. When he had Jordy Nelson and Greg Jennings, or when he had, Devonte fucking Adams. Devonte Adams ain't walking through the door. There's nobody coming to save the day here. And I don't know what you did to get better.
Allen Lazard.
Okay, well, good luck.
Allen Lazard, Josh.
Allen Lazard ain't Devonte Adams, that's for sure. So
you don't know that.
But yeah, receiver-wise, it's kind of we're still kind of feeling it out. Week 1, it's hard to tell. So you're guessing.
In our league.
Oh yeah. I don't need one, so I didn't even really look at it. But
I think I'm going to change out Allen Robinson. I'm thinking about Robbie Anderson.
Yeah.
We've seen it from him before.
The Robert Woods PTSD that I have tells me to tell you. Fucking get rid of that guy because that position apparently on that team is.
Odell Beckham.
Wasted,
Odell Beckham Jr. had a role
only at the end.
That's what I kind of thought. I thought that maybe they'd figured this out. That hey, you gotta get these other guys involved because their offense, although Cooper Kupp looked great, their offense did not.
Well, that might be true of that. You got to get other guys involved for like the playoffs and the Super Bowl and that whole run. But weeks 1 through 13, it's 9 loves 10, and it's not going to stop. And you're going to have Allen Robinson, and you're going to have moments where you're like, "Oh no, I have a good matchup here. They're playing a shitty team. I'm going to put Allen Robinson in." Trust me. You know why I know this? Because I put Robert Woods out there on my starting lineup again and again and again. Because I was like, "This is the week. This is the week that 9 is going to fall out of love with 10, and he's not going to fucking throw it to 10 again and again." And again, and guess what?
Although he did throw it to Everett Everett. Higbee. Higbee's not out there though. People have Higbee.
No, I have Higbee in one of my leagues.
He was throwing it to him.
He was, and kinda. I think that's more of like a check down.
Yeah,
that's a short yardage thing where Allen Robinson is running real routes. And Matt Stafford's like, yeah, that's cool, cool, but where's my... There he is!
There he is. Oh, shit, he's open.
He's open.
See, but that's not even true. He ain't even looking. He's like... There, he's doing his snap count. He's winking at it.
I got you, bro. I got you.
He's like,
hey, Cooper.
You gotta be open. Hike.
Just for today, I'm gonna throw it to you, okay? For all of today. But yeah, 9 loves 10. It's not going away. No. I completely would sell on Allen Robinson. And now watch me say that. And next week he probably has a good week.
I'm going to drop him. So
yeah, he will. Yeah, because of that he will. But 9 loves 10. There's some tight ends that I'm not crazy about.
Everett's the Chargers.
Yeah,
right?
He's on the Chargers, and he scored, and he actually got quite a few targets.
I'll tell you what, they're slinging the ball around.
Yeah, so it could happen.
And Allen got hurt, so
yeah,
somebody's got to catch these balls.
Somebody's got to catch these balls, and I could see a good season coming out of Everett.
Yeah, the way Herbert,
Hayden Hurst, the same thing. He caught a couple of balls in that Cincinnati game. It wasn't a great fantasy game, but he is the starting tight end on a team that I think is going to sling the ball around too. So he's an interesting one that's out there in some leagues. We talked about Taysom Hill already, obviously for the dual quarterback.
Honestly, I'd be all right with Taysom Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Especially, let's say this happens again. Let's say 2 weeks in a row, because he scored like 18 points. So let's say he does that again or comes close to 20. Fuck yeah, I'm all over Taysom Hill. That sounds great. Logan Thomas did not play week 1, but he will come back.
Is he still? Is that Washington?
Yeah. I'm not crazy about it, but he's out there. So if you're
Carson Wentz, man.
Yeah, I mean, if your tight end position is struggling, I hear you. Carson Wentz is better than
he's balling.
What they had. Okay. It was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
He could have won the Super Bowl once.
All right, yeah, he did.
He gets
a ring. Yeah, he doesn't deserve it, but he got one. But yeah, the waiver wire, it's kind of interesting right now.
Yeah,
there's
week
not
one's
that
weird. Only big injury was Elijah Mitchell.
It took time with like Cordell Patterson too. Of there's those guys that pop up that are like, oh my god, he was the obvious one, but it's not week 1. Week 1, you don't have that.
Yeah, because we're looking for consistency. Yeah, you're just like, I want to see it again.
And they're all guesses. They're all like, we're just, we're taking.
So let's see this next week. Somebody that blew up, nobody comes to mind, but that somebody that blew up that does it again. Sure. Like let's say O.J. Howard goes out there and has 2 more touchdowns, but gets 6 targets and catches 5 balls. Yeah. And all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, maybe they are going to use him.
Yeah. Maybe there's some San Francisco
That's not going to happen.
Maybe there's a San Francisco running back that'll take over for Jeff Wilson whenever he gets hurt in this next game, because that's what's going to happen. So, but yeah, welcome to the waiver wire where we'll make fucking guesses all day.
Don't forget, though.
Promo code fuck the algorithm. Fourth down. All right, week 2 coming at ya. We got some good games coming up. We're going to do these picks. We're going to try. I'm sure this is a hour and 50-minute show already. Thank you for sticking with us, Ivan. But
what's up, Ivan?
But yeah, starting off, goddamn, are these Thursday night games?
This is Thursday, man. Maybe I won't work.
Yeah,
I tried to pick up and I got denied. So
the Chargers at the Chiefs. We started off with the Buffalo at the Rams, and now we get Chargers at Chiefs. God damn, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
that's got to be 2 of the top 5 teams in the AFC. Got to. I mean, the Chargers played great, so and the Chiefs were killers. So.
After week 1, you can't argue with that.
This was hard. I actually, I started off and I wrote the first one down, and I had to sit there for fucking 5 minutes and really think of it. It was the one that I struggled with the most. Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite at home. I'm gonna take them. I'm not crazy about the pick. I definitely think the Chargers can come out there and shock them, but
Man, I think I'd probably take Kansas City too at home.
Tough game though. Tough game. I hope it's close.
A home field usually gives you a 3-point advantage in Vegas, and so that means that they really only think that it's a half a point.
Yeah. Which is fair.
I'll take KC though.
It actually the 3.5 might be high. It could be a very close game. It could be a very close game.
Be a 1 point.
Could come down to the final play. So but I'm going to take Kansas City. And then we go immediately. We'll talk about the Houston Texans going to the Denver Broncos. Denver is a 9.5-point favorite at home. I just think that number's too high, especially after the way I saw how scrappy Houston was and how kind of poor Denver looked.
Yeah.
So
it does seem high, but let's say I don't know. It's at home. They're not going to be as hyped up. They're not going to be trying to win the game as much as they were. I don't know.
I think Denver wins, but I don't think it's by 9.5 points.
I got you. I'm going to... Damn, that is a big number. I'm going to take Denver, though. I think that they stomp us out. They should.
I mean, it broke my heart to circle Houston because
you're not the hope. They're not thinking they're going to win the game.
I don't think they're going to win. I just think
9.5 is too much.
Yeah, I think my bookie says you go make that bet because you're trying to make that money.
That's actually the smart bet.
Right. The Jets at Cleveland. Cleveland is a 6-point favorite at home with Joe Flacco coming to town. I think that's fair. I think Cleveland wins. I think 6 is maybe a little high.
6 also seems that's a big number.
The Jets, there's nothing for me to get excited about with the Jets. And I just think they lose this game. And like you said, I mean,
Cleveland's
defense
got
and
a
running
good
the ball.
D,
So they'll shut down this.
You talked me into it. I'm taking Cleveland.
You can throw 60 times if you want, but we're going to beat your ass if that's the case because we're going to keep the time of possession with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Block Clowney and
Miles Garrett. Yep. Yeah, so I think Cleveland wins this game. Kind of a sloppy game. You can stay away from this red zone. I don't need to see this shit. Washington at Detroit.
This is actually an interesting game. Yeah.
Detroit 2.5-point favorite at home.
Ooh.
I think they get it done. I'm rooting for Detroit. We were big on Detroit last year. I'm big on them this year. I think they win, and I think they win by a touchdown. Washington almost fucking gave this game away, and I think that Detroit is pissed that they lost that opening game, and I think they get the win. Harder than you would think, though. Huh?
Well, because Detroit's it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a close game, and you know what? I'm with you.
Yeah.
Detroit by 3.
Yeah.
They're gonna get a win at home by 3, but that still covers. So I'll take Detroit.
Yep. Should be an interesting game though. I wouldn't have said that coming into this year. I wouldn't have said
that means Vegas thinks Washington's gonna win.
Yep. Yeah, but I don't. I think Detroit wins outright. But it should be an interesting game, and I never would have said that about the Washington Commanders and the Detroit Lions.
Well, shit. I mean, again, like, we talk shit about Carson Wentz, and he ain't the fucking best quarterback in the league, but he's better than what they had before.
Yeah, and now it's Jared Goff versus Carson Wentz again. We're back to the number 1, number 2 pick going against each other on different teams. How funny is that?
That's funny.
Yeah, so Tampa Bay at New Orleans.
You're going to take Tampa?
Of course I'm taking Tampa.
That's weird.
Now,
in New Orleans?
I know. I'll say that the thing that gave me pause is that it's fucking New Orleans, and they do not play well against New Orleans.
And home dogs. I'm taking New Orleans.
Yeah, I think you have a good reason to, but I'm not going against my guy. I also think Tampa Bay looked really good. I think they get better in this game. I think the offense scores more points. They score more in the red zone. Throw the ball to Mike Evans. Oh, my God, throw the ball to Mike Evans. So I won in the one league. I won on that Mike Evans touchdown. That last touchdown that he scored. I won with that exact play. It put me up by 0.8 something. So, but the whole game, that was all that my wife and my dogs were hearing was throw the ball to Mike fucking Evans. So hopefully he listens to me and he does it again this week. But it should be a good game because, again, New Orleans plays Tampa Bay so well. But you know Tampa Bay wants that monkey off their back. Oh, my God. They put a stat up during that Tampa Bay-Dallas, and I wish I had it right here where I could look at it. But teams that are that have gone completely – that Brady is undefeated against, and Dallas is one of them. Dallas is 0-5 against Tom Brady. But there are 6 teams that he has completely defeated.
Lost.
And one of them's New England, but because he's only played them once and they're 0-1. But how crazy is that? After this man has been in this league for this long, and there are teams that have never... Oh, Atlanta. Atlanta was 0-6 against him.
Including the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we're including the Super Bowl in there. But how crazy is that? The mental defeat that you must have. Now that I know that, I mean, I feel like Atlanta, every time they play Tom Brady, they're like, shit. You know this guy's going to beat us.
Retire.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm going to take Tampa Bay on the road. Of course, I'm sticking with you, Tom. I love you, Tom. I don't know if I've ever said that before. Carolina at the Giants. The Giants are a 2.5-point favorite at home. I'm going to take Carolina in this. I think they bounce back from their loss. I think the emotions aren't as high for this one. I think that the Giants, I think that was the peak of what we could see from the Giants. I really don't see how the Giants play better than that. And so I think that they kind of have a little stumble in week 2, and I think the Giants lose. So I'm going to take Carolina.
Oh, you think Carolina's going to win out, huh?
I do. I think they win.
Or win outright?
I think they win by 3 at least. So that's why I went with the... I think
they could lose by... They could lose and you'd still win.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Giants, actually. I think that they're better than Carolina, and that...
Carolina's not a good team.
I think Baker Mayfield sucks.
That's true. You're right. Baker Mayfield sucks. I mean, this is kind of a toss-up to me, kind of a pick-em. I really couldn't be excited about either one, but I'm going to go with Carolina and say that it's a close game, and so the points... I think it's a 1-point game, so I think with the points I stay safe. But yeah, New England that's why my bookie pays us all that money. New England at Pittsburgh. New England is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. I think that might change as the week goes on.
That's weird.
Which is why you need to go to my bookie right now.
That might be lock of the week right there.
I really
Pittsburgh's
think so.
home dogs.
Yeah, home dogs against the Patriots.
Their Patriots quarterback is hurt.
Yeah, they said that they said he's okay and that he has a chance to play. But if he's not 100%, then that means their offense won't be 100%. Yeah. So
I'm with you.
I'm going Pittsburgh. I'm going Pittsburgh. And I had Pittsburgh being a bad team, but this week 1 had to kind of make me change my mind on it. I think they beat the Patriots outright, and especially if they're dogs right now, that is crazy. That's
home dogs.
Yeah, not the
home dogs. How many? There was a bunch of home dogs that covered last week.
There were. Houston,
bunch of home
Atlanta,
dogs.
Chicago. Yep, Detroit. Yep, you're right. So Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Indianapolis is a 4-point favorite on the road. I kind of thought, like you're saying, home dogs and all that, but I kind of just feel like Indy was not pleased with what just happened. They know they can play better than that, and I think they come out and they kind of kick Jacksonville in the teeth.
I don't think Indy plays very well in Jacksonville.
Well, that may be, but I think Matt Ryan gets them back on track. Tie is basically a loss against the Texans.
I'm taking the home dogs.
And
I don't think, if our memory serves me correctly, Indy does not play very well in Jacksonville.
You think Jacksonville wins?
Not necessarily.
Or they cover?
But 4 points, I'll take Jacksonville on the points.
Yeah, I hear you.
I wouldn't be shocked if Jacksonville won, though.
Yeah, okay.
The way Indy played against Houston.
That's true. They didn't look great. They didn't look like a playoff.
I also wouldn't be shocked if they came out and stomped them out. But
because that's Jacksonville.
Right.
That's what Jacksonville does. But
right. And also, Indy is supposed to be the better team.
True.
And, whatever.
Yep. No, I hear you. Miami at Baltimore. Baltimore is a 3.5-point favorite at home. I think this is a great first test for Miami. This is a great first, let's see what you got against what people believe is a good team. I don't with Baltimore. I think Miami wins this game outright. I think they win by a touchdown at least. I think Baltimore gets exposed a little bit in this game. And I don't believe that they win by 3.5 points. I believe Miami at least keeps it close enough that 3.5 is too much. And I think Miami wins outright. So I'm taking Miami.
I don't know that Miami wins outright, but I do believe that it's a close game, and I will also then take the points.
Yep. I think it's fair.
I'll take Miami.
I think that's the way to go. That's what my bookie pays us for.
I think that I can see Baltimore winning by 3. I could see Miami winning by 3, but
should be a good game though. Should be one of the
you're right. It's
better games of the week.
It's a good test for both of them, honestly.
Yeah, true. It's two teams that have playoff hopes, and they need this win to kind of solidify themselves as a strong team in the league. So
in the AFC,
yeah. Then we go to Atlanta at the Rams.
10.5.
Vegas says 10.5 point
That's a big
favorite
number.
at home for the Rams. I know I struggled with it because it is a big number, and I don't know if they cover that big of a number. However, with as poorly as they looked on Thursday Night Football, they've got an extra long week now where they've got to prepare. I just feel like they come out and they're like,
Atlanta
we are not losing this game. Yeah. We are going to kick the shit out of this Atlanta Falcons team.
I feel sorry for Mariota.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like Aaron Donald and them are going to be fired up. I feel like that defense is going to be fired up.
Better too.
Yeah, so I think the Rams cover this. I think they win big. I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
That's a big number. That's a big number.
It is a big number.
I'm going to take the points.
Okay, you're taking
Atlanta.
Okay. Well,
against my better judgment.
It's probably the right thing to do because Atlanta was scrappy as fuck and played really well against New Orleans.
And that's probably why I watched both. These are 2 games that I did watch last week, and so I saw how poorly. Because honestly, the Rams, if it wasn't for those 3 Buffalo turnovers in the first half, they could have got fucking annihilated.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, we'll see.
I got you. And there might be a Super Bowl hangover going on, but we'll see. We'll see.
They won the Super Bowl, so I think the hangover is worse for the winner.
Yeah.
They also lost Von Miller.
Yeah.
They lost...
Von Miller played great. He had 2 sacks. He was fucking all over the place, so that was crazy. Seattle at San Francisco. A little divisional game here. San Francisco 8.5, another big number. I struggled with both of these
after what we saw.
I know, right?
So after week 1, I know 8.5 is a huge number.
It is a big number, and I would assume
divisional opponents.
That'll probably go down as the week goes. So if you want to jump out there and bet on Seattle just because you don't think they'll cover those points, I totally understand that. I think it's the same thing as the Rams, though. It's why I picked these 2 teams back to back. I think the Niners know Trey Lance knows this is it. I got to show up. I got to ball out. Seattle's not that good of a team. I can definitely beat them. I have to beat them. This is a divisional game.
8.5 is way too much, especially for all the things that you just said. It's Trey Lance. It's a divisional game. Yeah,
I hear you.
I'm gonna take Seattle.
I have to fucking pull for the Niners because of a fucking. Well, now I'm just Deebo Samuel. I'm not Elijah Mitchell anymore. I guess that's all. Well, I'm George Kittle too. So fuck. Anyways, San Francisco. Let's go, man. Y'all can do this. I know you can do it. Cincinnati at Dallas. Cincinnati's a 7-point favorite on the road. I'm telling you right now, 7 points is not enough. This is Dallas with Cooper Rush. They are bottom of the barrel.
Here's where I don't think I'm going to go with the home dogs, even though 7's a big number.
No, Cincinnati
has something to prove.
Oh, and let's say that because Cincinnati from like the fourth quarter on of Sunday's game against Pittsburgh, they were on.
Yeah.
They were cooking. They lost their long snapper, which is a weird thing to cause so much turmoil. But the fact that they missed these 2 kicks, if you look at the snap, both of the snaps were terrible, and they had a tight end out there that was doing the long snapping. So if they can fix that long snapper problem, which I'm sure they can, then they win that game against Pittsburgh, and I think they come out and they fucking destroy Dallas. I just don't. What? With who? With Cooper Rush and Ezekiel Elliott and CeeDee Lamb?
If you're out there, teach your kid how to long snap. Because, man, did you ever wait on... I used to... the long snapper for the Texans, John... what the fuck's his name? John Weeks or something like that. He was the Texans long snapper forever. He used to come into Del Frisco's, and he's smaller than me. That might be an overstatement. But
no, they're not very big guys.
He's definitely not... He's about your size, maybe.
Yeah, they're not tall, and they're not
all
physically
they do
built.
Snap the ball because nobody can be over them, and then they have to like act like they're blocking.
But they're not.
They got to try, but you don't have to.
Yeah. It was interesting that caused such a big problem, but Cincinnati's going to come out and they're going to absolutely fucking stomp Dallas out. I have no doubt.
I'm with you. I would take I would take Cincinnati in this situation. I'm not a big home. One of these home dogs is going to lose.
Yeah, and I think it's Dallas. I think Dallas goes on a huge losing streak in these next 6 to 8 weeks that he's out.
They're also like demoralized.
Yeah, it's bad. Arizona at Vegas. Vegas is a 5.5-point favorite at home. I was not impressed with Arizona at all, so I'm taking Vegas at home. I think Vegas also, they played a hard team in the Chargers and they lost, so they're looking to get in the win column. And the Devonte Adams connection looked really good. And I think Vegas wins big time.
I'm with you on this one. Arizona's. Yeah. We're out on Arizona.
I'm out on Arizona. And Kyler Murray. Fuck you. Chicago at Green Bay is the Sunday night game because there are 2 Monday Night Football games. I don't have any explanation of why, but Chicago...
Usually they do 2 on the first weekend, and
I know.
That's weird.
So bizarre. But Chicago at Green Bay... is the Sunday Night Football game.
Oh, God.
Kind of a weird Sunday Night Football game, but...
it's an old school. That's a classic.
Green Bay is a 10-point favorite at home. Wow. Now, I mean, I am not high on the Bears at all, but there's no way that number stays at 10, so absolutely go out there and bet on the Bears to cover that spread.
I'll take the points, too.
Because there's no way Green Bay's winning. Green Bay will probably win this game, I would assume.
But not by 10.
Not by 10.
Not by 10. Even when Chicago sucks, they play well against Green Bay.
Yeah,
it's just a close game. It's a divisional game. They've been playing this game for fucking... This is like the longest rivalry ever in American football.
The Bears won, and the Green Bay Packers got stomped out. So if I'm judging based on what I just saw, Chicago might win this game for all I know. I definitely don't think that they lose by 10. There's no way. Now, this is the Green Bay way that they lose week 1 and then they come out and they kill it in week 2.
Yeah.
But
I wouldn't be surprised if Green Bay beat them bad, but
I'd be surprised if they beat them bad.
I'd still take the points.
I'd be surprised if they beat them by more than 10 points. That would be surprising to me.
Well, I don't know if I'd be surprised, but
we'll see.
It could happen.
Then the 2 Monday Night Football games are actually pretty good. The first one not as good as the second one, but Tennessee at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 10-point favorite at home.
They're 2 playoff teams from last year.
And from what we saw from Buffalo,
I know. I'm interested.
What do the Tennessee Titans have offensively to threaten the Buffalo Bills? Not much. I get it with Derrick Henry. I get it, but they probably can stymie that with their good defense. But on the flip side of it, they're fucked.
How are you going to stop? What are you going to do to stop them?
Buffalo's going to hurt them. Buffalo's going to hurt them. So
until I see something different, I'm riding the Josh Allen train.
Yeah, and I think 10 points is just fine. I know it's a big number.
That's a big number.
But
I probably wouldn't bet on this game, honestly, if I was betting.
Yeah.
But if I was betting, I would take Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Buffalo wins, and I think they win big. Yeah. Minnesota at Philly. Wow, what a good game. This has got to be, other than the Thursday night game or Miami-Baltimore, this has got to be one of the best games of the week, especially when we saw how well Minnesota played. Philly came out and played really well, too, so this should be a really close game. Philly is a 1.5-point favorite at home. I struggled on this one a lot. I don't know. I think you could go either way. I think either team could win. I think Minnesota easily could win, but I think it is a close game. I think Vegas is right. I think it is a very close game. I'm going to take Philly at home by 3 points, somewhere in that range, by a last-minute kick or whatever. And I'm not crazy about it. I go back and forth. I know Minnesota looked good too, so good game.
Wow. I don't know either. I literally just went back and forth, and I was like, well.
Yeah. It is like that because
man, I think I'll take Minnesota.
Could go either way.
I don't have a really good explanation for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a really close game. It's going to be a good game. It could be a game where Minnesota comes out and fucking stomps them out, and we go, oh, wow, okay, Philly wasn't...
I would be very surprised if that happened.
Yeah. And I'd be surprised if it was the other way around, too, where Philly comes out and stomps Minnesota out, and we go, oh, Minnesota's not what we thought they were. I would be
more surprised if Minnesota stomped out Philly than Philly stomped out Minnesota, because there is a part of me that, at least at this point, that thinks that Philly could be a really good team.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something about Kirk Cousins that I just don't believe that we don't know about Jalen Hurts, and so I still can believe that about Jalen Hurts. Whereas Kirk Cousins is the same thing as
we know what it is. Yeah, we know what it is.
It's are you gonna win Are you gonna win a championship with Kirk Cousins? Nope.
Yeah,
but are you gonna win one with Jalen Hurts? Maybe.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's one of the best games of the week, if not the best game of the week. That we started off strong with the Chargers at Chiefs, and we finished it off strong, Minnesota at Philly. But it's going to be a great another week. I really enjoyed week 1 of football. Can't wait for this week.
Yeah.
Football. We got some injuries coming at you. We've already talked about quite a few of these injuries, but it's definitely something to keep a lookout for as you go into this next week and setting your lineups. Elijah Mitchell, obviously out. He's going to be out for 8 weeks. Dak Prescott out probably for 6 to 8 weeks as well. T. Higgins got a concussion, so you will have to watch him all week to see whether or not you're going to start him. Chris Godwin had a hamstring injury that is looking more and more like they're going to play it safe, and he probably won't play week 2, but that was just that's what Todd Bowles said early. George Kittle missed week 1, but I guess he is already listed as coming back and gonna play week 2. So, but it's just a good thing to keep an eye out for because that motherfucker always is in and out of being hurt. Keenan Allen went out with a hamstring injury as well. So Mike Williams might have a better week 2 than he did. He had a pretty poor week 1. But
that should have been a guy we talked about on the waiver. Was that Carter guy?
DeAndre Carter for the Chargers. Yeah. Yeah,
because he actually got the majority, I think, of the targets after Allen got hurt.
Yep.
So if Keenan doesn't hurt, he would be a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Pick up.
Yeah. So if you've been here with us this long, you get more waiver wire. You get waiver wire all throughout, motherfucker. Yeah, but Keenan Allen went out, and I don't know if he's going to be out. They said that he should be okay.
Yeah.
But again, he's another one that he's always in and out. You always got to keep an eye on Keenan Allen. Juju, another one that stays pretty hurt. Juju had a shoulder injury towards the end of the game that took him out of the game. They said that they're going to rest him at the beginning of the week and see how it goes. But I would keep an eye on Juju, especially because that Kansas City offense is so potent. It's hard to start one of them. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, McCole Hardman, or this. It's gonna be Juju this week, like Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I think that's why a lot of them are still hanging out the end there in the waiver wire, because we're all like, I don't know which one of these is going to go off. Like,
that's why I think I've got enough of Kansas City myself, so I'll probably just stay away from those
Travis Kelce
guys.
is a guarantee, and if Clyde Edwards-Helaire keeps behaving like that, he's a locked spot too as well. So, yeah. But Juju, he's one to keep an eye on. Alvin Kamara had, I think it was a knee thing, or a foot thing. It was something with his lower body, but something happened to Alvin Kamara where he had to leave that game.
Well, if that's the case, then Mark Ingram will be a valuable.
Yeah, but I don't like that. Mark Ingram fumbled one time yesterday, and he just doesn't look like Mark Ingram anymore. And I wouldn't be comfortable with that. But he is out there, so if you feel that, then go
he's
for
going
it.
to get touches.
I know. I hear you.
Somebody's going to get these balls.
Yeah, somebody's going to get it. Najee Harris left that Pittsburgh Steelers game pretty early on. It was like second quarter when Najee went out. Love you, Najee. I miss you, but I'm glad that this happened because it makes it to where I don't feel that bad about not having you on my team. And he apparently is good to go for week 2, but he came out of last week's game, and
I don't know, man.
They're going to use him a lot, so it's how
he had like 20 yards on 10 rushes.
Yeah, it's not.
Their O-line ain't
didn't start off great. And they lost T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt torn pec, so he's probably out for the year, if not most of the year. That's going to hurt their whole team because he's such a
Watt boys, man. Yeah. I mean, like, you guys are fucking specimens, but you stay hurt.
Broke specimens, yeah. Specimens that can't get it together.
Can't hold it. You guys should go try MMA. That'd be cool. I'd like to watch both of them play.
I'd love that. Yeah, it's fucking Brock Lesnar ass, fucking J.J. Watt. That'd be fucking awesome. J.J. Watt. I mean, when you see J.J. Watt without a shirt on, you're like, what the fuck? He's thick as shit. He looks like a bear. I mean, his body is he's not like a ripped guy. He's not got a six. Well, he does kind of have a six pack too, because underneath all that thick man meat, you just see this muscle that it's like, who the fuck are you? You're so strong. And TJ's probably the same thing. So I don't know what it is, but they just can't stay healthy. They just can't not be hurt.
They're too strong.
Too strong. Too much working out. And Jamal Adams last night apparently had a quad injury that Pete Carroll called very serious. So I don't know what that means or how long it's going to keep him out, but that's bad for Seattle's defense because he's definitely their leader. So, interesting injuries that we had. Things to keep an eye out for. God damn, did we talk about some football?
We got real excited.
We got all footballed out.
That was a long one.
Things will probably get more. I'm going to try to get more condensed coming up. There was just so much to talk about. I couldn't just do one or two games. We had to go into depth on a lot of different games and a lot of different things that happened. But it'll get more controlled here as we go through. But fuck the algorithm. MyBookie.com. I've also been yelling.
You, algorithm.
By myself. I've been yelling at the Brinks truck. I want to be sponsored by the Brinks truck. I don't know if they do that kind of thing, but I mean they have money. So
can we be sponsored by Brinks?
Can we be sponsored by Brinks?
Be paid with a Brinks truck?
Back that truck up. Back that ass up.
Cash.
Yeah.
We're just wondering, and also please do it.
I'm just throwing out,
Right.
just throwing it, like
Anybody, honestly.
Subway, eat fresh, you know what I mean? Like whatever it takes, baby. Whoever wants, Jack's dildos or whatever it was. I'm here for it all. So, but yeah, this is a good long show. Football's back, fucking awesome. Week 2 coming at you. Fuck off.